Welcome back to Ship Happens. Something exciting's happening today.
Ooh, what's that?
Guess what this is?
Don't know.
This is the last piece of wood to go in the port side in the engine room.
Yay!
So, should we get this fitted? Well, I need to get it cleaned up and painted. But let's go.
Let's go. Let me out!
Keep Robbo in there. You can come out when it's clean.
Oh please, you've left me in since last week.
Do your job.
Yeah, of course, I will.
So Robbo's here today helping us, and I've given him the horrible task of trying to clean up the port side as much as possible. So, day of scraping and cleaning, isn't it?
It's warm in here, it's almost like there's central heating pipes running through, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're working on a t-shirt in February.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Side. Starboard side, starboard side, starboard side. Oh, shouldn't say that 3 times, should I? Right, so we're on the starboard side. This is the bit of a rough side, to be honest with you. It's going to take us a bit longer than the port side. Right, so where do you start? I don't know where you start. Maybe you start by hitting stuff with hammers. Right. So obviously we've already marked like bad areas, but this side, the stringer that goes through the bulkhead, I don't really want to knock it too hard because we want to sort of try and save it for as long as we can. But that needs to go right through into the head, into the head in the aft. But to do that, I think we have to do the frames first. So then that gives us something for the stringer to go towards. So I think we'd start by doing the easy bits, which I think is the frames. Here we've got a slight issue. See these big mangy bolts here with, I don't know what it's called, iron sickness or something like that, but it's really poorly. They hold the exhaust on from the outside. So we've been trying to think of a strategy on how we can refix the exhaust. So we also need the bolts through. So what are we getting at now? Okay, so we need to put some bolts through, but then we can't really get to it from the outside. So I think what we're going to do is drill holes underneath the exhaust, so then we can drill through, and then we can then put our hands in, get the nuts and bolts, and like reclamp it, and then we'll put like a nice little stainless access plate underneath the exhaust. So I think that's plan A anyway. May change. Right, so for now I think we should start by doing some frames. Right, this is definitely the worst place to work anyway. But right next to the boiler, we've had the heating on today, so kind of good. Cozy.
Everyone in this engine room is dead cramped. So Simon's working on that one, I'm working on getting this one out, and we're working in this little tiny space. And getting the frames out is, I think, one of the worst jobs on the boat. Even though they're so rotten, because there's that many nails and stuff through them, it's a pain in the bum. Isn't it, darling?
Yeah.
So it's getting a bit too tight for both of us to work down there. So while Simon's knocking out the frames, I'm going to just start scraping all the loose paint off of the hull so we can see more what we're working with. Right, shall we have a quick look what Robbo's up to?
Oh, that doesn't work, does it?
No.
Oh,
What have you been doing?
I've been scraping. I haven't had to sand today yet though, which is good. All the old loose paint off here. I know you cleaned it once before, but there was still a few loose bits on it.
Did I miss some?
Well, what can I say? So yeah, finished sanding those off, clean the knees up. So in theory now, we're not going to do Gemma's famous thing, which is paint your boat in here, are you? Because you're looking for some different bits and bobs to put in here, aren't you? Yeah. So we're not going to bother painting it just yet. Yeah, so sanded.
Paint my knees?
Paint your knees and get this pipe done as well while we're here. Fuel pipe, I think, innit? Coming off the fuel tank.
Oh, shiny knee. Are they easier or harder to clean up while on the boat or off the boat?
I'd much sooner be off the boat.
Yeah.
But
have them on a flat piece.
It is what it is, isn't it? I mean, it's a bit harder work and a bit more difficult doing them on the boat. I mean, but it's more than makes up for it by the fact you don't have to replace all this stuff, doesn't it? So, swings and roundabouts, better for you, crappier for me.
So, we'll come back shortly and see what they look like once you've painted them.
Can I come out then?
No, you can have your brew in there. Right, so while Robert's been scraping in there, I've been scraping on the hull. I had to clear out of my wardrobe at the weekend, so I brought a bag of old clothing. So what I've been doing is to stop all the scrapings going down into the bilge. Blanked it off with old clothes.
Right, so I'm struggling a bit in the corner here. I've done one frame, we've got a percentage of that frame out, but I'm struggling to get a cut here. So I've got to move some heating pipes. Obviously, it's a pressurised system. I'm going to try and do it, so we've still got the heating, so I'm just going to move a pipe out of the way. So what I'm going to try and do is swing this pipe around here, so I've got some access. Let's see how we get on. I might get a face full of antifreeze. Oh, quite undramatic, wasn't it? At least we didn't have to get our plumber out, did we?
Right, so the scarves are done on this frame and this frame, so time to clean it and paint it. Okay, so we're all painted and prepped, ready to put the frames in. But the paint is still drying, so while the paint's drying, we're going to get the last web frame done on the port side. Last piece.
Yes.
The most awkward piece.
It's taken the longest, this one, because of my cock-ups, but... Do you know where the word cock-up comes from?
No.
No. You know, when you got like a bow and arrow, you got like the 3 flights on it.
Yep.
Yeah. It has to go in the right way. So when you got the cock up, you've got 2 sticking out, which actually catch the line on the bow. So you have to have, so it's a cock up, so it's a mistake. So you basically have to have 2 sort of flat to the line there. So you haven't got the cock up. Random bit of information, but. You good?
Yeah.
Oh, we're there, aren't we?
Oh dear.
This one may have some missing bolts. So we'll go for this one first. It's going to be awkward to get these other two bolts in here and also this one here.
But do we need to stress over it? Because I'm sure at some point
The exhaust is coming off.
the exhaust will be coming off.
Yeah. Probably next week, no, no, we're going to do all this and it'd be like...
I think just get as many fixing points in as you can reach.
Yeah.
And when we do take the exhaust off,
Yeah.
then we can go back and fill in the holes.
Yeah. As if they're obviously missing as well.
Yeah, we'll know.
We'll know what we'll have to.
So there we go. That is the last piece of woodwork that needed to go in on the port side. Obviously there's still painting and the web frames that didn't need to come off, they still need all the knees cleaning up, like this one.
Yeah. Okay, so now we need to remove this one and then we send our bolt all the way through then. Okay, keep that.
Okay, so there we go, that port side is done. Obviously it doesn't look as good as usual when we go we've done, because we usually paint everything, but thank you to everyone for all your recommendations on fireproof paint for the engine room. So I'm still in the process of trying to work out which one is best and things like that, but painting is just cosmetic, isn't it? It's not going to stop us progressing with the works to be able to get the decks on this summer, so we're all guns blazing on the actual woodwork and we can paint it at another time. So while waiting for the paint to dry over there before we can put the frames down, we may as well crack on and get some more rot out. So we're gonna have a start on this web frame, and the frame behind it as well needs sorting out. So, destruction time.
Oh, I want to do that. Good. No, I'm joking.
I wanted to do it. Oh, quality. Look at that.
Just hit it.
Look at that.
No, don't, yeah, the top one as well.
Yeah. I wonder whether we can be clever and hold the bucket underneath to catch all the crap.
Oh, well, there you go. You're missing it there. Hello, darling.
No, I'm not doing that above my head. I'll let you do that. Go and get yourself some goggles.
All these like equal rights and stuff like that, innit? And you're like, it's kind of when it suits, isn't it? I can do anything a man can do. It's quite grand above my head though. Let's get a man in for that.
There's just some jobs that you are better at than me.
Alright, so if I put my arm there, can you see? It's problem with this engine room. It was like, your body's like in the way, do you know what I mean? So the reason we're using this is because I've recently found out these are like £17 for 3 of them, so I'm being a bit more economical with them. Stupid, huh? I don't quite know what I'm cutting through there, but we'll have to check that the propellers won't fell off. Oh. Beautiful.
So the copper nails on these, they don't go to the through the outsides of the hull.
That's why they're a pain. Cool. There you go, Jem.
Thanks.
Sort that out.
Okay.
The noise you can hear is the heating. I don't know why we got the heating on, because we're in the engine room with no radiators. It was freezing in there.
But when you go upstairs, it is toasty. Is it summer yet?
Well, if it was summer, we'll be doing the deck.
Oh yeah, we can't have summer too quick. We're not ready for summer, we've got so much to do. It's like when you guys see us take a frame out, it looks like it's so easy and it happens so quick, but we actually fight with these for hours.
Yeah. Okay, so it turns out this one here, I thought it terminated around here, but it's not too bad there. But then further down, it gets worse. See? Have to come down a bit further because we can't be having that, can we? Especially being in very close proximity to where the stabilisers are, so there's going to be a lot of stress on the hull, isn't there? So let's get it right.
So awkward trying to do it because like all of the copper nails sticking out the hull, so it all just like snags, but I'm not going for it all off, I'm just going for like the big clumps of old paint off.
An action.
So come and have a look down here. See all this mess.
Oh my god.
But we didn't want all of that falling down into the bilges, so check this out.
It's gonna work, is it? And you want a Hoover strike today, aren't you?
Yeah, he won't let me use the Hoover.
We haven't got much electricity at the moment, so kind of monitoring how much we're using. So just having to use a brush and shovel.
But look, all that would have been in my bilges.
Yeah.
No one likes a dirty bilge.
No. Right, so we need to give this a bit of a prep. There's a tiny bit of rot in one of the planks. So I think we're going to epoxy it because there's no chance of changing the plank anyway.
I don't think it's rot.
What is it? There's a bit missing.
The grain's been softer, remember, on the outside where we've had it in a few places?
So here, yeah.
Not rotten.
Obviously we can't take all the other diagonal planks off on the outside to fix this, so we're going to dig it out. We're going to put a load of heated epoxy, so it's very, very thin. Then that'll wick into all the good, and then we'll fill it with epoxy. But it's all we can do when we're here, so it'll be strong.
So there we go, look at that. Clean again now.
Is that my clean washing down there?
Yeah, that's my clean well, my dirty washing. I haven't got time to do washing and housework anymore, so just bring my clothes and shove them in the bills.
Ain't so bad.
Just a soft spot in the wood, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not a bit of epoxy won't fix.
So give it a really good mix.
Stop painting me whole boat with epoxy.
Well, we're doing the armour. Yeah, is that all of it?
Yeah. It made it a lot worse than it actually is now.
It's like a paint, isn't it? Soak in now. I'll go and put some thickener in this then and we'll smoosh it on. Rolling.
Okay, so now that we've epoxied that, the epoxy needs to dry before we can paint it. The paint is still tacky on the back, so that needs a bit longer before we can put the frames in. So I've just said what we may as well do is the web frame here, that's going to go in laminated. So let's laminate that up, and then next time when we come, everything's prepped and ready to sort of like assemble. So we'll cut it over long to give ourselves something to cut off. So we'll go about 135.
135.
To the woodworking bench. Laminating bench. Say cheese.
Cheese. Oh, it's like a baby bell, it's got a plastic wrapper on it. Do you want to show me cheese?
Mmm.
Okay there, Gemma.
Oh, full of sneezes today. Let me go up a bit more.
Yeah, if we can, yeah, just cut it.
Oh, what one's your clamp?
You manage the one, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we just need to line them all up there. Right, it's like clumpy puncher. It's only better in my head.
Like acupuncture.
Yeah, so do you reckon there's enough on there? Should be. All of our clamps. Plenty of ooze. Perfect joint. Right, so we need to leave this to go off now for a few days.
Yeah, so... Oh, sorry. Ow. Trapped your hands. So, epoxy needs to go off on the web frame and in the thing. Paint needs to dry. So yeah, next time we come back, hopefully we'll have four frames in and a web frame.
Yeah, it's like a sort of basically ready for us now, isn't it?
Yeah, we've done all the hard prep work, the easy bits getting them in, isn't it? But you know what's not going to be easy?
What?
You doing coffin nails outside.
Oh yeah, but at least because we'll have that many to do, I can get properly set up and get all my mats down and stuff like that. So
it's a bit soggy this side, isn't it?
I've not actually been out there since like last summer.
But even in the summer, because that area doesn't see much sun because the shades of the boat, it never dries out there. Even like...
Oh, well, why don't you go outside? And I'll stay inside. Go on, so... You said you could float on water, didn't you?
Right, we'll have this argument. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, cheers guys.
See you all next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Clampy.
Gemma won. Can you do an edit instead I've got a black eye?
No. Thank you all so much for watching. Please consider subscribing if you haven't done already, as it really helps the channel out. See you all next week.